This is my video update on this very hot, very humid Sunday afternoon, July the 14th. Let's talk about some news. And of course, the big news story that we are going to talk about is the attempted assassination of former US President Donald Trump. He was speaking in Pennsylvania yesterday at a campaign event when a shooter who was on the roof of a barn or a warehouse fired 5 bullets. It looks like one of the bullets was aiming at Trump's head, and Trump made some sudden movements, and from what I understand, the one bullet grazed his ear. He fell to the floor. Secret security jumped on Trump to protect him, and then Trump got back up and he shook his fist in defiance of what had just happened. How Trump managed in that type of circumstance, someone has just tried to shoot you. Secret security piles on top of you. How he had the ability to jump up and to get back up and to shake his fist towards the crowd. I believe he said, "Fight, fight, fight," or "Continue to fight," or "I'm never going to give up," something like that. And we got this photo that was taken of Trump with the secret security around him, the American flag in the background, his fist in the air, blood on his face. How he managed to get up and pump his fist like that, I have no idea. I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but wow, what a moment. That photo, that moment may have given Trump the presidency. I mean, that photo, that image, the ability of him to get up and to pump his fist. Most people, I don't know, myself included, I don't know, would probably just allow the Secret Service to get around you and just move you off the stage, and you would just be hidden, right? That would probably be the reaction of 99% of everybody. But not Trump. He moved through the secret service, the security, and he pumped his fist, and then they took him off stage. Amazing. Amazing. And the alleged shooter, and I'm going to say alleged, even though I believe the FBI has identified him, but I will continue to say alleged, goes by the name of Thomas Matthew Crooks. Why is it always 3 names? Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth, Thomas Matthew Crooks. From what I understand, he has some connection with Antifa, or they're saying that he has some connection with Antifa. This is not 100%. There is a lot of disinformation about the shooter all over the interwebs. A lot of fake photos of the guy and fake history and background and impersonators. So let's wait a couple of days, 24 hours, until we get all the confirmed information from the authorities. Joe Biden came out and spoke about the attempted assassination. President Biden said that he's going to try and contact Trump. He said he's praying for Trump, and he's also praying for the victims from the shooting. 1 person died from the 5 bullets, and 2 people were injured from this attempted assassination. And Biden said that there is no place for this type of violence. So that is the statement that came from President Biden. And yeah, what a What a day. What an incredible day. 2 months ago, 60 days ago, on May 15th, there was an assassination attempt against the Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico. On May 15th, and then this assassination attempt on July 14th, almost 2 months, exactly 2 months. You had an assassination attempt on Fico, and then you have an assassination attempt on Trump. And just yesterday, Android AI robot Budanov, who's the head of Ukraine military intelligence, he was giving an interview to Ukraine media, and Budanov said that they have been trying to take out Putin, and they haven't been successful so far. That was his quote. He said, obviously, we have not been successful so far, but he basically said that they have been trying to take out Putin. This is what he said yesterday. So you had 60 days ago, 2 months ago, Fico. Fico was shot, 5 bullets, I believe 3 times to the abdomen. He was taken to the hospital. He recovered, and now he's back at work. Then you had yesterday Budanov talking about how he's trying to take out Putin. And then one day later, after Budanov's statement, you have an assassination attempt against Trump. And this attempt happened 2 days before the Republican convention and before Trump was going to announce his pick for vice president. Trump needs to pick his vice president ASAP, in my opinion. And he needs to pick someone that's going to carry on a populist policy forward for the next 8-12 years. He needs to pick someone that is aligned with the populist movement, and he needs to pick that someone right away, because they were going for the head. This guy was going for the head. Absolutely, that's the way it looked. That's the way it looked to me. And so if this had been successful, then the thinking is, the analysts are saying that if this was successful, then you would have had a situation where the Republican candidate would have effectively been picked by the establishment, by the Republicans, by the Uniparty. I imagine that would have solved a lot of problems if you go down that rabbit hole, right? I'm not saying this is the reason for what happened. All we know, this could have been a lone gunman, right, with 3 names. But if you go down the rabbit hole, then you could conclude that if this was successful, this would have fixed the Biden meltdown. It would have fixed the problem of trying to find someone to replace Biden. Obviously, Kamala Harris is not anyone's favorite pick to replace Biden, not a suitable pick to replace Biden. And so you would have had the Republicans or the Uniparty or the establishment pick a person of their choosing, and that person would have most likely become president of the United States. Once again, I'm just going down a rabbit hole. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just relaying to everyone what many analysts and pundits are saying with regards to this attempted assassination and the timing of everything. From what we know right now, this lone gunman, that's what we know, just one guy who was killed by secret security. He was killed on the rooftop, Secret Services, and that's what we know right now. 20 years old, maybe some connection to Antifa or something like that. We'll find out with time exactly what his backstory was, but that's all we know right now. That's all we have to go on, and we'll see as the days pass what exactly is the story with this shooter. Trump got on a plane. He went to New Jersey. He got stitched up, went to New Jersey, and the reports are that Trump is going to obviously, he is going to take part in the Republican convention. And just yesterday, we had Elon Musk make a big campaign donation to Trump. And last week, not even last week, 3 days ago, Orban met with Trump. Trump was the final stop on Orban's shuttle diplomacy peace mission, peace initiative, where he started off in Kiev, met with Zelenskyy, tried to talk about peace with Zelenskyy, didn't go too well, went to Moscow, talked peace with Putin, that went well, went to Beijing, talked peace with Xi Jinping, that went well, went to the NATO summit, which was a complete disaster. You also had the NATO summit, which wrapped up, which was a complete train wreck. But Orban was at the NATO summit, tried to talk peace, that did not go over well. And then he went to Mar-a-Lago, met with Trump, talked peace, and that did go well. So you also had that take place just a couple of days ago. Viktor Orban on his peace initiative, trying to find a way to end the conflict in Ukraine. And he ended his peace initiative at Mar-a-Lago with a meeting with Trump. So all of these things happened over the past couple of weeks. And timing is very important. Everything that's going on and trying to connect the dots and the timing of everything is very important. Anyway, that's, I think that is all I have to say about this huge story, this huge event that happened. I'm still trying to figure out how did this guy get on the roof of this barn or warehouse, and how did the Secret Service, the security, not secure that area? I don't get it. From what I understand, the rooftop should have been secured, and there's eyewitnesses who were around this barn or this warehouse that said the guy was crawling on the rooftop and they saw him. And no one did anything. Anyway, let's move on, and we'll talk about some other news. And let's go to Project Ukraine, the disaster, the neocon disaster that is Project Ukraine. By the way, yesterday, Janet Yellen, she was speaking to the House Financial Services Committee. And Yellen said that the more sanctions the U.S. impose, the more countries, BRICS, will seek financial transaction methods that do not involve the U.S. dollar. Basically, Janet Yellen saying that the sanctions are a complete failure. Her sanctions idea, she was one of the driving forces behind the sanctions. Now she's saying that the sanctions have been a huge failure. They're hurting the USD as reserve currency, and BRICS is getting stronger and stronger. This is what Janet Yellen said just a day or two ago. And then you have the attempted assassination of Trump. Here are some articles before we move on to some more news stories. Here are some posts from the Collective West media. This is how they decided to frame the attempted assassination of Trump. From CNN, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. From NBC News, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after popping noises heard at his Pennsylvania rally. Popping noises, everybody. The New York Times, Trump safe after gunfire at rally. Suspect is killed. USA Today, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd. Unbelievable, huh? Sky News is actually blaming Trump for all of this. Sky News, nothing justifies an assassination bid, but did Trump play a part in changing the rules of engagement? So they're actually trying to blame Trump for for a guy trying to kill him. This is why everyone hates the collective West, mainstream media. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They have no shame, no integrity, no tact, nothing. Trump also put out a message on Truth Social. He said, "I will never surrender." That was what was posted. Trump, make America great again, 2024. All right, let's move on and talk about some other stories here at this beautiful church. Beautiful church. Beautiful gold, onion domes. Just amazing. Amazing architecture. I love the light that hits the gold onion domes. The light at the end of this dark tunnel, everybody. That's what I think of when I see the gold domes. That there is a light. We're going to get to it. Give it another 6 months. We'll get to the light at the end of this dark tunnel. So we have some collective West politicians and one intel official, Budanov, we'll get to Budanov again, talking about how the collective West can win this proxy war against Russia, how Ukraine can call this conflict a victory. And let's start off with Czech President Pavel, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, the president of Czechia, Mr. Pavel. But Pavel said in a statement yesterday that Ukraine can win if the collective West pumps enough weapons into the Zelenskyy regime. Just pump it up with all the weapons and artillery that the collective West has. They don't have much, FYI, but pump it up with as much as you can. That way, the Ukraine military can prevent Russia from advancing, create the conditions for a stalemate, and then you can get to negotiations. Because Russia will realize, according to Pavel, that it just can't advance any further. And then you get to a stalemate, negotiations, and you can call it a victory. That is how Pavel is seeing things. That's Pavel's plan to make Project Ukraine into a win for the collective West. So beautiful, huh? So beautiful. So now we go to thank you, USA, Nord Stream sabotage, tweet Foreign Minister of Poland, Sikorski, and he said in an interview that Ukraine can absolutely win. No stalemate, no negotiations. According to Sikorski, also not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Sikorski, he said that Ukraine can win. And how's it going to win? Well, Sikorski said in the interview that Russia has the advantage in everything, in military, in air superiority, in its economy, in tanks, in everything, he said. But there's one thing that Russia does not have an advantage in, according to Sikorski, and that is drones and artificial intelligence. And according to Sikorski, Ukraine has the advantage in drone production and in drone AI, and that is going to win the conflict. He's wrong. He's wrong. I don't know where Sikorski is getting his news from, probably the New York Times and CNN, maybe from the from the Ukraine military. Maybe he's getting updates from the Ukraine military or the UK Defense Ministry. Not the best place to get news about the conflict in Ukraine from, but Sikorski is actually saying that Ukraine has an advantage in drone and drone AI. Not true. Not true. Russia has a huge advantage in drone production, and I imagine that Russia has an advantage in drone artificial intelligence, and and this is not gonna win Ukraine any conflict against Russia. Drone or drone AI is not gonna win it. But Sikorski thinks that's the key. Drone production and drone artificial intelligence. And keep in mind that the largest manufacturer of drones, drone parts, drone technology, by far the largest manufacturer of drones, no one comes even close, is China. And who is China aligned with? Yeah, Russia. And you know who else is super good at drone technology and drone manufacturing? Iran. And who is Iran aligned with? Russia. I don't know what Sikorski is taking, but give me some of that stuff. And finally, we get to Budanov. And I already talked about what Budanov said about Putin, but Budanov, he said that he's afraid that there's going to be another front opened by Russia in the north, in the Sumy region. So he warned against that. But Budanov said that one way that Ukraine can win this conflict or deliver a decisive blow to Russia is by, you guessed it, taking out the Kerch bridge, the Crimea bridge. Because according to Budanov, the Crimea bridge is more than a bridge. He actually said something like, you could hit 90 military targets, and that still wouldn't compare to taking out the Kerch bridge. That's what Budanov said. Because the Kerch bridge, according to Budanov, is connected to Putin and to Russia. And by taking out the Kerch bridge, that's the end of the Russian Federation. Russia's done with the conflict if you take out the Kerch bridge. That's actually what's going through the head of Android AI robot Budanov. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, Budanov, but not a good guy either. Not a good guy at all. But yeah, he's connecting the bridge to Ukraine victory. Nonsense, but anyway. That's how these three guys see the conflict in Ukraine and getting a victory out of the conflict in Ukraine. All nonsense, all of it. All of it is not based in reality. This is all fantasy from Pavel, from Sikorski, and from Budanov. So let's do some, I've got some clown worlds, and we can wrap up this video. And, well, first let's say that Zelenskyy was on his way back from a disastrous NATO event in Washington, D.C. Zelenskyy stopped in Ireland, and he met with Prime Minister Harris, spreading some of that Zelenskyy curse, even though Ireland has taken, from what I understand, when it comes to weapons deliveries and stuff like that, Ireland has taken a neutral position. It supports Ukraine. The government supports Ukraine, but weapons deliveries and stuff like that, Ireland has been neutral in this conflict. But Harris met with Zelenskyy, and he said all of the standard complimentary stuff about Ukraine and the man in the green T-shirt. And then Zelenskyy is off to, I believe, to London, to Blenheim Palace in Woodstock, where he is going to take part in the 4th European Political Community Summit. This is some event that Macron set up. This is the 4th one. And Macron set this up, and basically it's a bunch of European globalist elite that get together and talk about how awesome they are. and how everyone is just not as cool as they are, not up to their level. And they talk about ruling the world and becoming masters of the universe. And this is Macron's initiative. And this will be taking place in the UK, and Zelenskyy is going to be a kind of guest of honor at this event with Keir Starmer by his side, the most boring man in politics. Keir Starmer will be with Zelenskyy, and they're going to talk up Project Ukraine, talk down Russia, talk up victory, talk up more money and more weapons, and as long as it takes, and blah blah blah. And from what I understand, Keir Starmer is also going to talk about how the UK should move closer to the European Union, how the UK can move closer to the European Union. So he is also going to talk about extinguishing Brexit. That's what's going to happen at this European Political Community Summit. Keir Starmer, the most boring man in politics. He's going to put everyone to sleep when he speaks. Everyone is going to be put to sleep. Even Zelenskyy. Even Zelenskyy. Yeah, that's going to be Keir Starmer. So Zelenskyy was in Utah. Now we're getting into clown world territory. He was in Utah at, I forgot the event, something for governors or some sort of event that was taking place in Utah. And at this event, joining Zelenskyy was Matthew McConaughey. Now, Matthew McConaughey, the Hollywood actor, he has political ambitions, Matthew McConaughey. Now, I don't know if he likes Zelenskyy or if he's associated with Zelenskyy like Sean Penn is or any of these guys, but any of these other Hollywood guys. But the praise for Zelenskyy was there. It was at this event. Everyone was praising Zelenskyy. And Zelenskyy invited Matthew McConaughey to join his United 24 platform. United 24 is basically Zelenskyy's crypto crowdsourcing slush fund platform. I think FTX used to have some sort of association. Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX, I believe they had some association with the United 24 until FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried got into all of that trouble. But Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he is associated with United 24, and Zelenskyy was recruiting Matthew McConaughey at this event to join him on the United 24 platform. Crowdfunding, crowdsourcing money and Bitcoin and donations, which allegedly then get used to help Ukraine and to help the military, allegedly get used to help Ukraine and help the military, right? Donate some Bitcoin and we'll use that Bitcoin to manufacture drones. Yeah, right. Donate some Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin is going into into you-know-who's pocket. Bitcoin, I like this stuff. This was a generous donation. I like this crypto stuff. Anyway, that's what happened in Utah. Matthew McConaughey looks like he has been hit by the Zelenskyy curse. That's how it looks. But we'll see. We'll see. I like Matthew McConaughey as an actor. I hope that he's smart enough. Matthew McConaughey, Mr. McConaughey, if you're watching this video, stay away from the Zelenskyy curse, especially if you have political ambitions. Trust me, bro. The Zelenskyy curse is 100%, never fails. And finally, we have a tweet from Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany. He was hosting the Japanese Prime Minister Kishida's first trip to Germany as Prime Minister of Japan. And Olaf Scholz put out this tweet. Our countries are 9,000 kilometers apart, and yet Japan and Germany have a lot in common. We stand up for democracy. We support Ukraine. I'm glad you are visiting at Kishida 230. Olaf Scholz, man, Olaf Scholz. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, Olaf Scholz, that's for sure. Yeah, Germany and Japan have a lot in common, that's for sure. Both countries are completely owned from top to bottom by the USA, the establishment, the military-industrial complex, the globalists, the collective West, call it what you want. Both countries are completely owned. That they do have in common. Absolutely. As far as the standing up for democracy stuff, well, we all know that that's nonsense, right? There is no democracy in Ukraine and very little democracy in the collective West, but that's probably another video for another time. That's the video for today, the Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some awesome Duran merch, like what I'm wearing today, and subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Let's get to 203,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm wanting to get to 50,000 subscribers on Rumble, but it's just not moving. Rumble's just not moving. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. Take care.